So I'm here smiling early just because I'm not starting until we hit the 20-second mark because that's when it goes to regular video. It seems to pick up. Hey everyone, hey Wellness Crew, and welcome to today's reading of the Gene Keys and Understanding Human Design, Gate 12 and the 12th Gene Key. I'm so excited that you're here to join me today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and or join one of the membership tiers as it is popping off. So we're going to begin with Gate 12. Caution. I Ching, standstill. Astrology, Gemini. Biology, thyroid and parathyroid. Gate 12 is cautious because it needs to know whether it is being honored or not. The root expression of this caution is shyness if the mood is not right, and boldness if it is. Gate 12 is also a powerful energy that plugs into source, and people make this energy, especially if it is defined on an open throat center, have a tendency to channel or prophesize. There is a certain frustration and anger here if Gate 12 shares and the timing is not right. Sometimes Gate 12 can retreat into an I told you so kind of energy when their insights are proven correct in hindsight. The irony of manifested energy is very strong in this gate. There is an impetus to speak or act, but if someone has been conditioned to act no matter what, they may have the experience of speaking boldly and creating anger around them. This can be a real inner struggle for people with this energy, often creating a standstill in their lives. People with this energy can become paralyzed by inertia from the trauma of having expressed themselves when the timing hasn't been right. When the timing is correct, Gate 12 is the ultimate wordsmith. Here we have the energized creative expression of the knowing circuit. It can be passionate, rich, and deep in its expression, with all of the juice and fire that art and creativity can bring humanity. It can be new, transformational, and very, very influential. The 12th Gene Key, a pure heart. City, purity. Gift, discrimination. Shadow, vanity. Programming partner, 11th Gene Key. Codon ring, the ring of secrets. The ring of trials, 12, 33, 56. Physiology, thyroid. Amino acid, none. Terminator codon. The 12th shadow, vanity. The final trial. The 12th gene key, along with its shadow and city, is one of the more extraordinary and far-reaching archetypes in the human genetic matrix. In the relationship between this knowledge and genetics, each of the 64 gene keys has a corresponding chemical family known as a codon in the genetic code. In order to decipher the genetic code, scientists have to find chemical marker points in the massive coded information that lies in DNA, and these marker points are known as start codons and stop codons. Such chemical punctuation marks have an unusual place of importance within the totality of the genetic code itself. This 12th gene key, along with the 56th and the 33rd, is related to what science terms the stop or terminator codons. On a purely archetypal level, the 3-stop codons, known collectively as the Ring of Trials, can be seen as 3 great mythic trials that test human beings on their road to self-realization. The 12th shadow of vanity marks the inner core of the Ring of Trials, which means to say that this shadow state represents the third and final aspect in the trilogy of human tests. The 12th gene key is special. Within the mystery of the 21 codon rings, this 12th gene key forms a ring of its own within the ring of trials, known as the Ring of Secrets. However, its secrets remain firmly locked away until you activate its highest frequency in the 12th city. Vanity, like pride, the 26th shadow, follows us to the mountain peaks of consciousness. It is an uncomfortable word for most of us, and in our vanity, we do not usually like to associate ourselves with it at all. Thank you so much for the like. Unlike pride, which thrives before an audience, vanity is a far more internal shadow. Vanity is like the lichens that cling to the rocks of the highest of mountain ranges. No matter how far your awareness advances, vanity will cling subtly to you even at the highest of variations. In one sense, vanity is the very first human vice, and it is also the last shadow to let go of you. The 12th shadow is the love of your own uniqueness. It is about learning to love yourself, which is the true definition of vanity. However, vanity only stops being vanity when you realize that to love yourself is actually to love everyone else, a revelation demanding a quantum leap out of yourself altogether. This 12th shadow is therefore deeply involved with issues of personal power, as well as the human yearning to express the purest qualities latent within your soul. It allows you to progress to great intelligence and artistry, but at the same time prevents you from stepping into your wider heart. Hi, Superman! Vanity is afraid that if you come from your heart, you will lose your power. Because it involves the expression of the soul or heart, this gene key is deeply involved with your ability to connect with the power of your own breath and your emotions. It is connected to the thyroid and parathyroid glands, and in particular with the human larynx, the prime organ of speech. It is humanity's vertical larynx that sets us apart from the animals. In esoteric lore, it is said that the animals with horizontal larynges operate under a group spirit, whereas the development of our upright larynx allowed the introduction of the ego. Indeed, it is this 12th gene key that allows your thoughts to be translated into language and vibration, giving you the illusion that your words have independent power. Out of this concept of independence, were born two powerful human attributes, vanity and ego. In the ancient yoga systems, there is a profound connection between the larynx, represented by the throat chakra, and the gonads, representing the center. This is also reflected by the rapid growth of the larynx during puberty. The ancients say that long ago these two centers were in fact one, but that over time they separated and the larynx slowly closed. And anatomically, the larynx is enfolded by the thyroid, and interestingly, the Greek word for thyroid, thyros, means shield. Similarly, the Dutch word for thyroid, schilkler, means shield gland, suggesting that the larynx is protected by the thyroid, concealing a great secret. The great secret of the 12th shadow is language. It is said that in the Garden of Eden, Adam swallowed the apple, which became stuck in his throat and remains there to this day as the Adam's apple in all men. The Adam's apple represents the masculine principle of the mind that becomes identified with your words, thoughts, and actions, and the larynx gives you the illusion of power through language. The 12th shadow is about loving the sound of your own voice, and as such, it is the root of language. However, as we will see at the highest levels of frequency, it is not what you say that matters, but the frequency that lies behind your voice. Vanity can choose the most beautiful of words, but it can never hide the frequency of its tone. It is important to remember here that none of the 64 shadows are inherently bad. If you declare something as bad or evil, you will miss the gift that lies hidden within it. Vanity is simply the lower frequency of the 12th gene key, and after all, vanity is the foundation of the city of purity. Vanity also goes beyond words and can hide in silence. Sometimes your vanity is hidden to what you do not say. It hides itself away in your thoughts and your feelings. Wherever there is self-identification, there is vanity. The reason that vanity is such a great trial for human beings is because it lies outside the scope of your ego. So you may well be thinking, what can I do about it? How do I transform this shadow state? Well, because the shadow is so elusive, it is better not to think about it at all. Even the very thought that you might be overcoming your own vanity leads to more vanity. All you need to know is that as long as you experience yourself as separate from life, as long as you feel the strength and wonder of your individuality, vanity will still be there, quietly keeping pace with you. It is only late in your evolution, as you approach the highest frequencies of the cities, that vanity will finally and suddenly release its hold on you. Vanity does, however, have an archenemy, which is love. Vanity keeps you from truly loving another because it keeps you isolated. You may be beautiful, intelligent, and virtuous, but still with vanity you will remain defended against others. The more evolved your consciousness becomes, the subtler and therefore more powerful your vanity becomes. Vanity is a shield that, along with its programming partner, the 11th shadow of obscurity, hides the truth from you. For the kind of people who are drawn to reading this material, vanity is one of your great challenges. As you refine your frequency, you naturally fall into the illusion that you are somehow different from others and are becoming purer than the rest of the world. You begin to identify more with your higher self, which your lower self takes great delight in. This is a most tricky time in your spiritual evolution because it is so easy for you to remain here at a relatively high frequency. You feel powerful, individuated, wise, and well-meaning. However, you have yet to make the greatest leap there is, the leap into true purity, the leap into your own death. Repressive nature, elitist. There are essentially two different types of vanity, coarse vanity and refined vanity. The repressive nature of the 12th shadow is the refined version, which emerges in certain characters as elitism. Elitism is vanity working undercover. These characters may agree with you outwardly, but inwardly feel very differently from what they say. Often they refrain from making any comment at all, preferring to remain detached. This is the domain of the spiritually evolved, those few who have done a lot of work on themselves. These people inwardly feel that they are clearer than most others around them. They can take great pride in being different, or in being beyond any creed or system. Such vanity ensures that such a person cannot make the leap that their inner being most longs for, the leap into permanent higher consciousness. This only begins when the awareness of our own vanity finally dawns. Reactive nature, malicious. Thank you so much for the like. Malice stems from anger, which in turn stems from fear. The reactive nature of vanity can use the gift of this gene key, the gift of discrimination, as a means of hurting others. Whereas the elitist withdraws into silence out of fear of being seen as weak, these people openly use their substantial vocal gifts to inflict pain on others. Like all classic victim patterns, such people usually feel put upon in some way and react maliciously without thinking about the damage their words or actions might do. The 12th gene key has beneath it real emotional power, and it has a God-given talent for language and communication. These people really know how to push other people's buttons through the power of their voice. They can hurt people like no one else can. Their malice may not be premeditated, but it is usually brutal and ends in disaster for them. I'm going to go ahead and stop right here so that way we can kind of ponder and think about the 12th gene key and gate 12. Thank you so much for joining me for today's live stream. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and/or join one of the membership tiers as it is popping off. I'll see you on the next video or live stream. Be well, stay wild as well.